I'm really starting to enjoy these because it's actually giving me a chance to figure out what I'm gonna eat at least one day a week. Today we're gonna do a couple of absolutely no heat dishes. I'm gonna do two of my favorite salads because that's kind of what I'm in the mood for. Is something that's a little healthier, that's something that's kind of super light where I don't have to turn on the oven, but is also kind of filling and is super tasty and is totally in season right now. So we're going to do a peach salad and a watermelon salad. I think I'm like most people. You tell me when we go out to a restaurant that you're just gonna order a salad, it just sounds kind of boring. But I found that putting fresh fruit into my salads gives it that little kind of sweet tooth, because I'm a sweet tooth addict. It kind of makes the salad taste a little less salady, if that makes sense. So first salad we're gonna do is super simple. It is watermelon and feta. That's at a bunch of different restaurants these days. It's super popular. And I still, a lot of times you go and order these things and they just come out with just the fruit. There's no salad greens. I kind of like to use it as an excuse to eat salads. So I tend to put that kind of stuff on top of salad greens. So it actually gives it a little bit more volume to it. So we start with cut up watermelon. A lot of stores these days already have cut up watermelon pre-cut, ready for you, so do that. I just happened to be at the store. I was actually looking for the pre-cut ones and happened to see entire watermelons that are completely in season, and they are so it's so sweet. So watermelon, in fact, there's actually an orchard in the north part of Vegas that not a lot of people know about, but it's open to the public, and you can actually go and pick watermelon and peaches, which is the other fruit that I'm gonna do today. My mouth is already so super watering from that little piece of watermelon. But we just add a little crumbled Feta cheese. That's kind of like the salty element. And then some mint. And because, especially when it's in season, watermelon is super tasty and super watery. So it kind of makes its own dressing. So I don't actually make a dressing for this. I just drizzle a little olive oil and do a little salt and cracked pepper. If you are the kind of person like me, I grew up with eating watermelon with salt. I know there's a lot of weird TikTok things out there about eating watermelon with mustard, and I think that's kind of silly. I think that's more like a challenge than an actual eating thing. But I do like salt on my watermelon. So if, toss that. So I don't really like to necessarily have a lot of additional flavors on top of this watermelon. You can put a little lemon juice or lime juice on top, but again, this is so good just by itself. So a little bit of salt, little cracked pepper, actually a little, more than a little cracked pepper, because I actually like a lot of cracked pepper in these kinds of light dishes. And then let me shake this. And then a drizzle of some really good olive oil. And that's our first salad done. Super easy, right? So, salad one, done. Looks absolutely gorgeous. It is so tasty. It looks so pretty on a plate. Both of these salads, all I'm gonna do is just have a little bit of like sliced bread that's been toasted and buttered. And that's kind of all I'm gonna have with these, because these are kind of filling by themselves, and I'm actually gonna have both of these salads because I'm making like 2 light salads today. Second salad, more greens. And for this one, we're actually going to, oh no, we're gonna put peaches that I've peeled and sliced. Again, this is like the perfect time of year for like fruit, berries, you know? Maybe I could just use my hands for this because I'm the only person eating it today. Oh, peaches are a little soft and tiny bit slimy, but they are so good. And they are so super in season. And I'm making kind of a mess. Okay, that looks pretty. I'm just gonna I love fruit so much. Stone fruit in particular, like peaches and apricots, definitely my favorite. I will do more with peaches because it's completely in season, and it's in season in Nevada, which is surprising because I didn't know there were like fruit trees in Nevada, but then I found out that there's actually more than that. So to the peaches, we add these little pearl, like fresh mozzarella. You can actually get this like in the deli section or in the cheese section of your local supermarket, or if you can't find them already like in these little pearls, you can go ahead and just get, you know, like your regular fresh mozzarella and just slice it up or cube it. A lot of this is just about how it looks on a plate. Because peaches go well with nuts, I have some chopped pecans here. I think a lot of my fruit things tend to be southern. So I love peaches and pecans, and I love pecan pie, and I love peach cobbler, all of which I will do once the weather cools off. Okay. And to this, we do add a dressing. So before we add the dressing, I'm gonna add a little basil. Oh, it smells so good. I love herbs in general, whether it's basil or sage or like a little extra pop of green, but it's also so herby, and it goes really well with peaches. Okay, so to that, doing the dressing, so not a lot of salt. More cracked pepper because I love cracked pepper. And then we put this to the side for now and make a really quick dressing. So here I have ginger syrup, which is just ginger, just boiled, like sliced. It's ginger that's been sliced and grated and put in a pot with water and just cooked down. And then some water is added. I'm sorry, so some sugar is added to make it sweet. So we have a ginger syrup. This we add, whether it's bourbon or whiskey, we're doing almost like a peach pie salad. Some sort of American bourbon or whiskey. Just for flavor, we're not trying to get anybody drunk here. If you are making this and you're like around kids, you can always put that over stove and just cook off the alcohol first. To this, we add a tiny bit of Dijon mustard. Again, we're not making a mustard dressing. We're making like a ginger maple bourbon dressing. So I've got some maple syrup here. This is actually a sugar-free maple syrup, but you can definitely use like the good stuff as well. A splash of apple cider vinegar. You're gonna mix this all up. And I like to taste test before adding the olive oil, because I think once you add the oil, then when you try to taste test it, then you just taste a lot of the oil. So. Okay, I think you could use a little bit more ginger. Actually, you know how I am with ginger. And a little bit more of the maple syrup, just because it's not quite so sweet, because I'm using an alternative sweetener. Yep. Ooh, that's good. And then to that we add our olive oil to make a vinaigrette. And I tend to keep this dressing, I make extra, and I can use this dressing like for everything else. All the other kind of salads. Like it might, I don't think I'd put it on the watermelon salad, but it's definitely good on peaches. Just a light drizzle. And that's our second salad. Looks gorgeous on a plate again, right? It's just so much of this, and I don't know, I mean, I know it's a very Japanese tradition to include visual stuff into all your cooking, but I think that it really helps. You know, even if you take your salad, and like these pre-made salads you buy at the store, even if you go and buy it and then you just transfer the whole thing into like a regular bowl, it can make all the difference between like feeling like you're just kind of rushing through things and you're just on the grind, and you taking a couple of extra minutes just to grab a bowl, and to make yourself feel really important. I think that that's very important for self-care, and yeah.